On this, the 22nd anniversary on the passing of Ayrton Senna, we're here at a circuit where in 1993 he put in one of the great all-time performances at the European Grand Prix. We're here at Donington Park here, the Grand Prix circuit, for what will be your Formula Renault official race split here, Sunday style, here for Racebot TV. Jake Sperry, Rachel Whiteford will be back in just a couple of minutes for all of qualifying. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, then to your top split here for the Formula Renault 2.0 top split here at the moment here. We're just in the middle of qualifying, 3 minutes in, 8 minutes, 2 laps here to go here. Just looking at David Williams in the number 5 machine, running himself down this cold track. Time's starting to come in now, Rachel. And this is a very cold track, which means the times are going to be a lot quicker than normal. But what is going to have to be mentioned here is that also means that the tyres are cold and they have to work the car to get it up to temperature.
Yeah, good afternoon, Jake. Of course, these guys are warming tyres on the outlap, of course, to make sure these things are up to temperature. Track temperature at the moment is 65 degrees, so's the air temperature. It's overcast, really cold. We've got a high wind from the northeast, so it's 15 miles an hour. Humidity's actually on the high side, 65%, so it's looking like it could well be quite a fast race in terms of what we expect here.
Yes, certainly it will be. Phil Reed then in Aperture Motorsports colours coming across the line. Will he set a lap time? Yes, he does a 1:24.5. He puts himself up on the second row at the moment. We're just going to give you a look now of how your field looks at the moment. And well, surprising name up at the top, it's Rocco Barone. Nice to see him back out in the car driving here, this Formula Renault. And well, you have to say, Rachel, there's 2 areas of the track which makes your lap time absolutely count. The run down into the old hairpin and the run down to the Fogarty S's.
Yeah, certainly. You're all about getting that corner exit right, of course, Jake. You want to make sure you have the best run off the corner, so lower in pays you off out the corner.
Yes, most certainly here. Looking here at the number 7 machine, Govan Keeney here. Hasn't set a lap time as yet. 5 drivers then in this 25 car grid, yet to set a lap time so far. Justin Brunner moves himself into P number 2. And as I said, that Dimitri Lazardo, he puts himself on pole, 1:24.2. But Govan Keeney rounding Goddard's, bit of a lock up there, massive twitch as well. We'll see what lap time he can do as he crosses the line. It's not going to look promising, but the answer is for him, well, it is going to be a 1:23.9. Where has that lap come from? Pole position for Govan Keeney there, Rachel.
Yeah, great lap by him. What a stonker there. Just about a tenth of a second faster than Rocco Barone in P2 at the moment. That's a great lap there. He's really managed to net this one together, of course. But some guys still yet to qualify, of course. Kevin Mossett is yet to go in. Hugo Prieto and Scott McIntyre just qualified with a really slow time there, so not what he was after. But Kevin Mossett, he's on a lap, we believe. He's not on a lap, so we are not expecting one from him. Time is heading towards the end. We've got about, I believe, 3 minutes remaining, so still time for it to change. Guys may have a chance for another lap.
Yes, Jukka Savalainen then, his run to the line. Let's see if he can go better than 1:25.6. Answer to that one for Jukka Savalainen is a 1:24.9. He drops himself onto row 5 of the grid. Only 10th position there. Scott McIntyre here. He has one more opportunity to go, Rachel, here, as he heads himself now into the right-hander of Coppice then. The run to the Fogarty S has just taken us through the final part of the lap.
Yeah, watching on board with him at the moment as he runs up towards this S. It's a very fast chicane here, of course. It's really tricky to make sure you get this car settled through this section of the racetrack. He does. Very tight exit across the bumps there. Might unsettle the car a little bit. Running down now towards the hairpin, of course. He needs to make sure he carries speed through this hairpin at the bottom of the lap, up towards good line through. Good exit there from him as he runs up now towards the final corners on the racetrack as we have, I believe, some... Yep, he's coming through the final hairpin now onto the straight. Make sure he carries a good exit speed. What will the lap be? We'll find out in just a second. Will it be better than a 1:30.9? It is, but it only brings it up to P19, Jake.
Yes, it is, and that is a shame. Oscar Dominguez then, he is out on a lap. He's P8 at the moment. He finds himself on row 4 with that Aperture Mode sports car of Phil Reed as well as he heads himself down to the Melbourne hairpin. A little bit like Sunset Bend at the circuit of Sebring. A million lines to take in, but only one is the true fastest line. Then final corner here. We're in the final minute of qualifying, and of course, once that time expires, that's it. Your lap is over and done with then. Oscar Dominguez rounds the final corner. Can he go any quicker than a 1:24.5? Answer to that one is going to be an affirmative no. His lap time is over and done with, and with no one else there out on qualifying, we can now run you through your qualifying results here from Donington Park. And with that said then, Govan Keeney will share the front row with Rocco Barone here at the moment here. The gap 1/10 of a second. Javier J. Martinez there on the second row with Dimitri Lazardo. David Williams on row 3 with Justin Brunner P6. Phil Reed and Oscar Dominguez round out row 4 for the time being, and we're going to cycle it on back for you. There you can see Hugo Prater there in 9th position. David Gimeno-Bow there down in 12th. Good qualifying by his standards there. David Soranzo surprisingly down the order, and another driver down the order here, surprisingly, is that carbon racing car of Harley Lewis here, Rachel. Here, a very experienced Canadian driver. What does he need to do in order to pull himself up through the field this afternoon?
Well, it's going to be a tricky one for him, of course, but he's not got a great starting position, so he's going to be very careful with what's going on here, of course. But he can get it done. He just needs to be careful with traffic, make sure he gets the opportunity at the right moment. You want to be catching people coming on to the long straights on the, of course, they're coming off those slow corners. All about the right timing. You'll have to rely on that.
Oh, most certainly he will be, and well, you can see the best of the best coming in. Coanda have cars here. You look at everyone here trying to make sure that they have the best TNT here with Hugo Prato. This is certainly going to be one where everyone needs to learn here just how quick this track can be in cold conditions. Just waiting for cars to grid up. We will have one entire minute to wait for everyone to grid up. 25 kilometers an hour wind. That's going to be a heavy factor on these cars as they go through. And well, it's certainly going to be one waiting factor here as they go into this session. And well, we're here with just a couple of drivers still waiting to get themselves up onto circuit right now. Still waiting for Dimitri Lazardo. He's still yet to get onto track. Another driver waiting to get onto track is that car of Jukka Savalainen in the number 4 machine here. And well, it's just going to be one of these long waits here. Just another 30 seconds then before the lights go on. Of course, 18 laps here of your motor race is what these guys will try to be going along. And well, there will certainly be a lot of people waiting to try and get themselves going here. Just waiting now for the lights to come on, and soon we'll be off and underway. And well, this is certainly going to promise here. The engines are revving, the green flag, and we are underway. And it's a great start for Govan Keeney. Keeney out of the way already from Rocco Barone there. Slow start from Javier J. Martinez. Will they all run down into turn number 1 very kind and nicely at the moment? Yes, it's red gate number. No, Govan Keeney, massive twitch there, but he gets it sorted. Oh, car off in the grass there, Rachel. And well, a couple of cars go off, and that's David Williams there, who will drop himself a mile down the order as they head down to the Craner curves in the old hairpin.
Yeah, that was the Coanda car of David Williams there, but we had 3 wide heading through the first bend here at the Donington Park, of course. 3 wide, 2 deep, in fact, as we go nearly 3 wide against the Craner curves and the old hairpin there. really tough fighting here at the moment, of course. These guys are all pushing extremely hard. The cold tyres not helping. A lot of cars wiggling, wobbling, and sashaying across the racetrack as they try and get these temperatures desperately up to temperature.
Most certainly there. We've just seen Dimitri Lazardo make the move there on Hugo Prato as the train starts to form here in this 18-lap race. We've seen quite a few cars fall down the order in a very surprising fashion here, but you have a leading train of 5 at the moment. Keeney trying to break away from Rocco Barone. There you can see Javier Martinez there. He's going to be pressured by the American Justin Brunner, who has Phil Reed, a long-term rival, alongside him, trying to have a battle into the Melbourne hairpin. Answer's going to be no. He's going to have to wait just for the moment at this time. But Justin Brunner has this opportunity to attack Martinez here, Rachel, as the end of the first lap comes and passes by.
Yeah, it certainly does, of course. A lot of lockups at the moment on this first lap as guys try and get those temperatures up on these cars. They are very cold tyres, and we'll see less lockups as the race goes on.
Oh, car around there, Rachel, there. That is Harley Lewis. Sorry to cut you off like that. Spin there down at the final corner. Let's get a replay of that one then, because that is Harley Lewis. We said earlier on what he'd do. So he comes out the final corner, and it seems he just got a bit too much of a heavy foot. Couldn't keep it off the noisy pedal, and, well, he drops himself down to the back of the field.
Yeah, he does, of course. As I said, these cold tyres also don't provide the most grip, whilst they do provide quite a lot of torque, so he does put too much on that pedal. The back end stepped out, not much he could do, but no damage on that car, so still a race for him to take part in. Just a little bit further back than he was hoping for. Looking back towards the front, though, Govan Keeney has definitely stepped away a little bit. Rocco Barone dropped back a little bit behind him. It's still single file for your top 5 there. All being very well behaved. Hugo Prato there in that TNT number 10 car, being chased by Oscar Dominguez and the driver of Jukka Savalainen. That's quite an interesting little battle developing here.
Oh, most certainly it is. You can see Dimitri Lazardo there. He's going to go to the outside, down at the Melbourne hairpin. Can he get the move sorted? Well, he's going to have to wait for the time being there. Running a little bit deep there, actually, behind is Oscar Dominguez. But for the time being, Hugo Prato will maintain 6th position on circuit, will he? Into Goddard's then. They come along and he makes it easy there. Dominguez having a massive look there under braking. Doesn't quite get the move sorted, but looking back behind, you can see quite a few fights going on through, up and down your field. We're just going to look here at, whoa, car turned around once again down at the final corner. And I believe that car is the car of Clark Williams there in the 18 machine there, Rachel. Not ideal for his circumstance.
No, it's certainly not. Clark Williams had dropped back a little bit. He was only qualified 15th, so not having a great race as the British driver in the number 18 car. He's struggling really with those tyres. Been passed there by Pedro Garcia Robles as he moves himself up to P23 on the racetrack, of course. As looking a little further up, we have a good little battle developing there with Mark McDonald, Kevin Vaughan, and Scott McIntyre of TNT at the front of that train. Behind them, Kevin Vaughan, he's the meat in that sandwich in the middle there. In the Cosworth machine there, it seems to be, but this is Formula Renault, but the Ozjet car is running pretty strong here, but looking behind them, there's Mark McDonald there. He really would like to make up a spot here in that Haas car.
Yes, he's already up 4 positions then in your motor race at the moment here. Lap number 3 of 18, 1/6 of the way through, and, well, for these 3, they need to be battling on, but further up ahead, the gap for the race lead, it was 1.6 seconds when they crossed the start-finish line. Govan Keeney is starting to walk away with this one.
Sorry, we had a bit of a moment there, actually. Sorry to cut you off, but the Melbourne hairpin there, we had the car of David Williams in that VRS Grande Simsport car in a contact there with Arne Schoenveld and Juan Luis Alfredo. It's the Melbourne hairpin. Bit of a miscommunication there, and a back tap and a sideways car.
Oh, yes. Well, let's see if we can get a replay of that one then for you. And, well, down to the Melbourne hairpin, we saw it. It was just a case of running under braking. You just ran a little bit too deep. No real dramas there, but for the time being, he keeps himself in there as we are now going to go back live for this one here. As you can see, they're all going to still remain line astern here. And, well, for David Williams, he's down the order after a lap 1 incident. You look at Juan Luis Alfredo there. He has put himself up 2 positions so far. You can actually see David Williams even having a little bit of a look as they come towards McLean's. Will he get the move sorted? No. He's going to have to wait for the time being, Rachel.
Certainly is. Look at the one car right now of Justin Brunner. He's running the middle there with Javier Martinez and Phil Reed. Those guys battling pretty hard through the Carrera curves as they head down towards the chicane now and moving down towards the Melbourne hairpin. Will we see any moves in the braking zone? It's been a popular spot to make a pass, or at least an attempt, of course, Jake, but nothing from any of those guys as they all make some fairly hefty lockups, of course, as the Gecko Vortex sim racing machine there of Justin Brunner. He is trying everything he can to catch Martinez, just not quite close enough. And, well, Phil Reed trailing behind that one, but it is a move for Hugo Prieto behind him. He's up from P9 on the grid to P6 at the moment, so he's ticking off cars and catching this group as they fight.
Oh, most certainly he is there. We're just to compare lap times then between Hugo Prieto and Phil Reed. It was a 24.3 for Hugo Prieto. Compare that with a 24.8 from Phil Reed. That is half a second, and there is nothing you can do about that. Gap at the front now. It's over 3 seconds. Keeney is romping away from everyone right now, but don't count out Dimitri Lazardo there. He's not going to let go anytime soon from the back of Hugo Prieto. Further on back down your field. 3-car battle as I can't get my words out. Nicola Landau there with David Gimeno-Bo, who's side by side with David Soranzo here. This is for your top 10 right now as they head themselves down to McLean's. Will he get the move sorted? No. He's going to have to wait. It's a difficult opportunity down at McLean's. He's trying to run all that speed down through the old hairpin. He won't get the opportunity at Coppice, but he might just have to wait for the time being back down at the slowest part of the circuit, Rachel, the Melbourne hairpin.
Yeah, it really is. There's somewhere you really don't want to be caught 2 or 3 wide, of course. But the car's making some good timing through that section of the lap at the moment. Those 2 final hairpins, of course, Jake, they are really tough as a pass there by. That is Dimitri Lazaro on the car of Hugo Prieto. He will take the position 6, and Prieto really hasn't got anywhere he could go. He will look to the inside, actually. No, he stays behind him as Dominguez has spun, we believe. Oscar Dominguez, that 21 car. He's had a moment, I believe. It was running off the chicane. Jay, we'll get a replay for you. On the grass, back end just steps out and round. He goes where he'll stop. Well, the barrier knows. He's on the barrier. The car looks to be definitely having sustained some damage.
Oh, yes, certainly there as he puts himself right. Just running a little bit too wide there, trying to make sure that he kept that speed up. It's so difficult. He puts himself into pit lane, and that could be the end of Oscar Dominguez's run then in your motor race right now. As we're going to look further up down your field and actually in towards these fantastic battles that we're seeing. We're going to remain with this train then for 3rd position. It just seems a waiting game for Justin Brunner and Phil Reed here with Javier J. Martinez. They're trying everything they possibly can here just to stay with him. But Martinez is running the perfect time trial, you could say, Rachel, because he's putting himself in a position where he's unpassable when it comes to these big braking zones.
Yeah, he certainly has. He's in a very good situation at the moment. Got to keep his eyes on the road ahead, not on what's behind him. Plus, Justin Brunner in that 1 car, experienced driver. He's not going to make a silly move, but he does look to the inside. He's maybe testing the water. Has a very tight line, cannot quite make it stick though. As Martinez has brilliant placement there on the track. He's put himself in exactly the right position for what he needs to do, and that's a good defensive strategy.
Most certainly it is. As a number 6 then, trying to fend off number 1, but don't count out Phil Reed here in that number 20 machine. Aperture Motorsports versus Vortex Sim Racing as they head towards Redgate, turn number 1 on the circuit. He goes to the inside. Phil Reed on Justin Brunner, the long-term rivalry. There's Justin Brunner, then makes sure that he gets the move sorted. He makes sure that he holds position for the time being, but that gives the break for Javier J. Martinez there. He gets a little bit of light relief there as he head through the old hairpin for the 7th time today. And well, it seems here at the moment that there is going to be some battles up and down. Cars starting to space out. Arnie Seanville and David Gimeno-Bo. Those 2 are right together here, Rachel, as they head themselves just out of the old hairpin and the run to McLean's.
Yeah, they certainly are, though. I expect Phil Reed wishes he had a portal somewhere on the track ahead of Martinez, of course, that Aperture Motorsports car. But yeah, these cars are really spreading out now, Jake. It's become a matter of making sure you keep tyres on this car. They won't be stopping, of course. We have 18 laps today, and we're on lap 7, so we're 2 laps away from the halfway point, and these guys are going to have to look after what they've got if they want to be in a position to fight towards the end of this one.
Most certainly, and a driver who does need to look after what he's got is Govan Keeney. He lost 1 second in that last lap. We'll just get yourself the times up then to see whether or not hit that gap is coming down even more. So Govan Keeney, when he crosses the line, will he lose any more time? He did a 25.2 last time by. This time's a 24.2. Rocco Barone, well, he's going to come across the line and he will match with a 24.2. So it's going to be around about 3 seconds, that gap for the time being here as we head to halfway. There you can see David Soranzo under threat then from Arnie Schoenville. There as they head themselves towards Redgate. He'll have to do it the long way around. To the outside goes Arnie Schoenville there into turn number 1. Redgate, he gets the move sorted around the outside. And a comfortable move then into 10th position. He comes along.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's track position, very important here, of course. These cars, all these drivers at this level, very evenly matched on pace, of course, Jake. So, all about managing to get yourself track position through qualifying, and starting towards the rear in this one really is a big struggle to try and make positions with these guys so evenly balanced.
Most certainly it is. You can see the gap starting to pull away right now at the moment, including in this gap here in the battle for third at the moment. Martinez, Brunner and Reed. That gap is just starting to open up just a little bit, so we will move on back down your field. Kevin Vaughan in number 2 with David Williams behind in number 5. Battle for 16th then on circuit for the time being. It seems for the moment David Williams is willing to play second fiddle for the time being, but Kevin Vaughan, he's very experienced, Rachel, in all that he does.
Yeah, it certainly is, and we'll have to keep a close eye on Williams behind him, of course. That's VRS kind of go, oh, off he goes, close to the commentators. Just catches the curb in the wrong place there, of course, Jake, and that car just takes a spin, thankfully not hitting anything, but that was a big jump. The car just unsettled completely.
Yes, you wonder how important those 25km/h winds are actually playing into effect right now, because David Williams, massive unsettling down in the fog TSs. It's difficult enough with light winds, but right now you see he falls himself right back down the field. Once again, loses another position there to Harley Lewis, trying to recover at the moment. David Gimeno-Bow then and David Soranzo, those two are running themselves nicely together in the battle for 11th place right now, heading themselves down through the crane of curves into the old hairpin, which doesn't really look like a hairpin too much anymore, but for the time being it seems that Soranzo has that little bit of a gap, and well, you say that 0.8 of a second in these cars is enough to put in the slipstream, but for the time being it's just finding that area on circuit where you can actually use that slipstream, because despite all of that top-end speed that you can get in these cars, you find yourself in a position as actually David Soranzo is going to run a little bit wide. Opportunity knocks then for David Gimeno-Bow. It's so difficult to find an area of opportunity, especially like this straight, in order to get a move sorted.
Yeah, certainly. You've got to make sure you time it correctly. Getting off that corner before proceeding is so important, and if you need to be, well, of course, with the dirty air these cars create, you need to be well within that bubble to really make a run.
Oh yes, most certainly then. Hugo Breto and Dimitri Lazardo into Goddard's the final corner. Can they get a move sorted? No, Lazardo is through at the moment after a move at the Melbourne hairpin there. Defending through Goddard's very nicely. He'll move himself up a position, then back in 6th position for the time being. But we're going to look forward again, because Phil Reed and Javier J. Martinez there. Brunner is actually through on Javier J. Martinez then in the number 6 machine there as they head themselves down to the old hairpin. Brunner's decided, I've had enough, I want to chase down Rocco Barone.
I'm going to have to Rocco Barone, certainly a big ask, but he's in position to do so. Of course, Rocco Barone is ahead of him on his own, so no real draft help for him there. This train of Brunner, Martinez and Reed will certainly be going a little bit quicker. The last laps were 14 flat, a 24 flat, sorry, a 24.7 and a 24.1. Barone, 24.1 as well, so actually not as big a difference as I expected it would be.
Yeah, you can see Rocco Barone doing a fantastic job in putting himself in a position where he can push to his limits very comfortably at the moment. He finds himself 2nd position, all out on his own on an island. And where you can see just how much they're all locking their tyres up down to the Melbourne hairpin. Slowest part of the circuit, and where you have to think that Phil Reed now will want to get himself forward. As you said earlier, he might need a portal to get himself through, and well, he might need just a little bit of luck as well as he looks to run himself down the front straightaway, as he looks to start his 11th lap of the race with just 8 laps away then from a conclusion. Where has the time flown by? And here at a gloomy day in Donington, it seems, for the time being, Phil Reed is going to have to wait patiently to get through on Javier J. Martinez, Rachel.
Yeah, he certainly will. Of course, those two behind Brunner really struggling to do what they want in terms of car placement and lap time, because they are, of course, in traffic. So the braking points, acceleration points are a little compromised, as is the dirty air, making the car a little pushier. So they're definitely struggling behind Brunner, but Brunner has it easiest, of course, but he has to keep an eye on his mirror. So perhaps going a little deeper than he'd like to in the corners, of course. That is why Rocco Barone and Keeney up ahead have the advantage. They're in clean air. They can run exactly the lap they want.
Most certainly. 3 drivers then who are struggling in your motor race. Oscar Dominguez, Mikel Lamoureux and Kevin Mostert. They find themselves in a world of troubles. Couple of drivers out, couple of drivers a lap down. But for the time being, we're going to focus here on David Gimeno. And something's gone on with Justin Brunner there. He's running himself very, very slow on circuit there. He's dropped few positions. Let's get a replay and see exactly what's happened there. It looks like it's happened at the Fogger TS's. And well, the answer is an affirmative yes. He gets a massive kick of oversteer and he puts himself in the barrier. Not ideal for the experienced American there as he spins it again, actually, down at Goddard's. He has some major damage, Rachel. That is race over. That is so disappointing for him.
Oh, absolutely. That car is totaled, of course, Jake. He's hit the wall with, well, you don't normally see that, but he hit the wall with the front and back of the car when he spun that thing. But it was the same place it happened with Clark Williams. So that car definitely limping. He'll pull that down pit road, get it serviced, and probably retire the car. Unfortunate for him, he was running so well, but this gives an advantage to Martinez and Reed, of course. They're now battling each other for position because this is looking like a podium finishing spot.
It most certainly is, Rachel, and well, you can see how impatient now Phil Reed is starting to get. He's been sat at the back of the train the entirety of the race. He's seen Justin Brunner go off ahead of him, and now he has an opportunity on Javier J. Martinez as they head themselves to the crash site of Justin Brunner and Clark Williams. This is the Fogger TS's, the left-right here as they head themselves in. Well, no dramas it seems at the moment for these two. And well, for Phil Reed, he's just going to have to wait. He's got a few laps, though, on his side. He doesn't have to make the move straight away. And well, Rachel, you have to say, Phil Reed, he's been playing the patient game. He's been waiting for his opportunity, saving his tyres. What can he do in order to make that move sorted and done and dusted?
Well, he's going to have to wait patiently, of course. Oh, we had a car off track a moment ago there. That is the very slow car of David Soranzo. So I need to find out what's happened to him, but I'm going to make a wild suggestion that he's gone off as well in the chicane. He gets a wiggle. He has to run wide to save it, but rather than putting his foot down on the grass, he rather wisely keeps his foot off the loud pedal, and he just has to rejoin, loses 2 spots, but he will still be able to continue his race, of course, as that's how you rejoin sensibly without killing yourself. But the French driver, of course, managing to continue here. These guys, of course, racing, him included, later in the 2K Cup, of course, Jake.
Most certainly, and that will be one to check out then. Of course, so will the Classic Indy cars just a quarter of an hour after this race at, of course. And well, actually, we're going to go up further down your field because Phil Reed puts his Aperture Motorsports car up into a podium position right now. A fantastic move on his part, and now he's got to try and break. That's his only opportunity, and well, Javier Martinez isn't going to let him go away too easily into the Fogger TS. They come along. Great move there, Rachel. Phil Reed's made the move and he's trying to make it decisive.
Yeah, nice, sensible, patient move, of course, by Reed. He waited till the right opportunity to do it, and now he's focusing on getting those big exits off the hairpins, which has definitely made a gap over Javier Martinez. That has worked, so he needs to get another good one here. You're watching go a little deeper from the apex to get a nice later hit on that apex curb. Getting that maximum acceleration off the corner. He does just that, and last time by, that was a slightly compromised lap of 2:16, but Javier Martinez was a 2:25, so... Oh, a 25, actually. So, wow, that is a second difference in lap time. Javier Martinez definitely was slower. Tyres perhaps going off for the number 6 car.
Yes, and actually something to note is Govan Keeney's had an incident somewhere on track, and actually it's down at the Melbourne hairpin there. He gets himself into a half spin there, but he keeps the car, he keeps it going. He's dropped 2 seconds, he maintains the lead. But a couple of errors creeping in, and of course, he's going to be in the 2K Cup race later on tonight, so he needs to eliminate those errors as quickly as he can at the moment. But looking back, Soranzo and Juan Luis Alfaro here, Rachel. These guys fighting down in your 12th and 13th at the moment. This is a good result for both of them. What do they need to do right now? What does John Luis Alfaro need to do in order to put himself through on David Soranzo at the moment?
Well, he's got to be patient, of course, and Alfaro needs to find the opportunity rather than forcing an issue. As it stands, we know that Soranzo's gone off track a couple of times. Those tyres might be a little bit past their best, so has to put the pressure on, either encourage a mistake or simply take advantage, get a better exit, get a run down one of the straights, make a nice simple pass. But we're on lap 14 of 18 now. It's coming towards the end. No need for any risky moves. Still time.
We're going to try and get a replay here of what's happened with Dimitri Lazardo. He's fallen down the field, and it's the fabled Fogger TS's again that's done it. Big slide in through the first part means that he spun himself around trying to catch it there. Lovely 360, gets himself going, but he drops himself down the order now behind Juka Savalainen. Great race from him at the moment. He's up 4 positions from his grid slot, as is Hugo Preto. But right now, that gap's coming down for your race lead here. Rocco Barone is closing that gap. 1:23.7 last time by. Govan Keeney 1:25 flat. We've got about 4 laps to go, Rachel. This one could close up to be a classic.
23.799. That is massive, Jake. In fact, if anything, this is on a race setup, of course, not a qualifying setup. That's faster than pole by 0.2 of a second. That is a huge lap from Rocco Barone, and 2 seconds on track faster than Giovanchini. So a big run from him. Of course, he's about to lap, I believe that's Mark McDonald, who's very slow there in down towards the Melbourne hairpin. He runs very wide off the racetrack. He wants well out of the way of your race leader. But yeah, huge difference in speed there. This is massive, and you can see visibly he's catching the leader. So potentially tyre problems for Giovanchini, and Rocco Barone definitely catching up. So Barone could be looking at making a statement ahead of tonight's 2K Cup race.
Yes, a 1:23.2 response, though, from Giovanchini. His fastest laps at 23.1. Let's see what Rocco Barone does. He does only a 1:24.1. That's decisive. That's a second back in favour. Keeney wants nothing of Rocco Barone right now, and he said,
wow.
Bye, I'll see you in the dust. Fantastic speed from the most controversial man in Formula Renault at the moment. Side by side, Nicola Landau there in a fantastic battle with Arnie Schoenverle outside of Redgate. Can he get the move sorted? Well, Schoenverle there has found himself through round outside of Redgate there, running down the Crane and Curves. Brilliant move. He pulls himself up into 8th place at the moment, up 10 so far tonight.
Yeah, huge gains for him as well on the racetrack, of course, as he is definitely making those passes stick. But we lost a couple of drivers, of course. Mark McDonald just gone 1 lap down, last car running. Justin Brunner, we saw him go off. Scott McIntyre's gone off. Kevin Mossett, Michael Lambrou, he's retired, as is Oscar Dominguez. So, a couple of retirements. We've got 20 cars still running, 19 on the lead lap.
Oh, yes, we still do, and that just shows you how competitive things are at the moment here. As well, we're going to try and jump ourselves back down the field, find yourself a lovely little battle going on for you for the time being. Kevin Vaughan and David Williams, they've stayed together at the moment here for 14th and 15th, running themselves around through Coppers at the moment, and this could be an opportunity for David Williams. He seems that he's close. He runs in the slipstream here. He will probably move to the inside, and the answer is going to be no. He's going to wait for the time being into the Fogarty S's there, the left, then the right, and well, he's just going to wait for 2 laps to go here when they cross the line, Rachel.
They are at a response, by the way, last time by from Rocco Barone, 0.2 per lap faster than Giovanchini. Plus those two now running faster than qualifying laps. This is ridiculous based on these guys, as Barone does a 23.789. Gini was a 9.87, so there's a lot of lap time in that. It's down to 2.9 seconds, and we only have 2 laps to go. Not looking like he's close enough unless we see a mistake from Keeney, but that's not looking possible. Phil Reed, though, in the Aperture Motorsports car, well, he found his portal. He has gapped the car of Javier J. Martinez by about a second now.
Well, I'm going to interrupt you here. I do apologise, because Savalainen here having a massive battle with Dimitri Lazardo then as they head to Coppis. The switch back there. Oh, they tangle there, and Lazardo will have to take to the gravel in order to avoid it there. And well, he's going to lose not 1 position, but he is going to lose 2 or 3, because through will go Schoenverle, and through possibly will go Landau. Answer that one is round the outside. Will he get the move sorted down at the Fogarty S's? This is going to be a crucial one. No, he'll have to wait for the time being, but an instant there which really wasn't one that we wanted to see, Rachel.
No, it certainly wasn't, and perhaps a little aggressive place to make a pass, but I think the door was closed a little on the outside, so potentially, I'd like to say racing incident, but at the same time, very bold passing spot.
Yes, a very bold passing spot, but the white flag is out. The final lap is here at last, and well, there's been fantastic racing up and down your field for the time being. The gaps now starting to become a little bit decisive up and down the field for the time being, but there is one guy who's been out at the moment, and actually there's a car going off. That is Pedro Garcia Roble there, who's gone off. Oh, that looks like Giovanchini getting himself a little bit involved there, running a little bit too close there. That's a little bit cheeky there on the final lap, but he hasn't seemingly got any damage from that one, Rachel, as he now looks to run himself in towards the Fogarty S's for the final time tonight. He's been pushing his luck a little bit, had a couple of errors, but the Hydroforce Racing driver, he's shown exactly what he can do. He's making a statement for the 2K Cup tonight. And well, here we go. He's got a couple of more corners to go. The Melbourne hairpin then, down the right-hander. And well, like Ayrton Senna 22 years ago, he passed away at Imola. He had a fantastic result at Donington Park. It's going to be Giovanchini rounding himself round the final corner. He will be a driver there with a massive twitch, making sure he takes a fantastic race win at Donington Park.
He certainly does, and big wiggle there on the exit as Rocco Barone will come home in second position to secure that one. Phil Reed, after gapping Martinez, he will come home in the final step of your podium.
Yes, he will. Still a few scraps to be had at the moment. Dimitri Lazardo and I believe Arne Schoenvalet there having a little bit of a scrap to line. It will be Arne Schoenvalet who will win that battle outright in the end. And well, just looking for drivers to come through. Kevin Vaughan, he's been gapped by David Williams there in the final couple of laps there. Through, he's gone there into the final corner of Goddard. He'll come along. Clark Williams, what a poor day for him. Mansue Grasser there, driver who we haven't really talked about. He's up 7 positions at the end of it. And well, for drivers like Mansue Grasser, who's up in the top split, but knows that the quick guys are there up ahead of him, he's got to be in a position where he puts himself even, he's got to work harder in order to put himself a little bit quicker, Rachel.
Yeah, they certainly have. It's been a brave race, and it's been an exciting one, of course, here. Had some great battles, of course, some silly mistakes and a few trouble spots, but what a stunning race we've had today.
Most certainly, and now with pretty much every driver through then who was on the lead lap, we can run you through your classified results here from your top split at Donington Park. And well, Govan Keeney then will edge out by 3.6 seconds there. He didn't have everything his own way, couple of mistakes, but he edges out Rocco Barone in the end. Phil Reed will be very pleased with that third place finish, up 4 positions in the end there with Javier Martinez in 4th. Hugo Prater there, a familiar face there in 5th with Juka Savalainen in 6th. Arne Schoenvalet there in 7th with Dimitri Lazardo, 8th Nicola Lando 9th. David Jimeno Bow rounds out the top 10, and scrolling back down onto the second page, you can see David Soranzo not having the best of times. Same for David Williams after a lap 1 incident. And well, drivers who aren't finishing here today, well, you got Justin Brunner, Scott McIntyre, Kevin Mostert, Mikel Lamaro, and Oscar Dominguez. So, Rachel, that's certainly been an exciting race. And well, of course, you've got the 2K Cup later on, but I believe you will be in the commentary box with Fraser Williamson there for the IndyCar series, if I'm correct.
Absolutely. It's going to be a great race today. Of course, we go to Twin Ring Motegi for IndyCar Oval Racing, and it's going to be an spectacular race. So look forward to that one in just about 15-20 minutes time, so you can catch that one here on Racebot TV and iRacing Live. What a race we've had here, though.
Yes, most certainly, and don't forget there is more Formula Renault action tonight. We got the 2K Cup coming back here at Donington Park. You got to make sure that you don't miss it. 50 drivers all pushing themselves to be the very best like no one ever was. But I've been Jake Sperry, I've been joined by Rachel Whiteford, Will Vincent on the cameras, and well, Govan Keeney's just made a statement to everyone else in this field. But you've got to remember, he's the most controversial figure, and incidents are never too far away. Good night.